Doja has been on an absolute tear, and V feels like the perfect next step. After the raw, hard hitting rap vibes of her last project, Scarlet, she told us she was coming back to her pop roots, and she wasn't lying. V, which means life in French, is her fifth studio album. Her first joint dropped in 2018. It was Amala. And this joint is a deep dive into the themes of love, romance, and facing the truth about oneself, even, I would say. She publicly embraced her return to the more pop driven direction, even though a few years ago she spoke on pop, saying that it's feels less real. But in terms of her trajectory, she's not stepping away from the boldness she's known for. But here she lets softness and vulnerability and lush production take front seat. Um, I know she is a one of these figures that's it's kind of hot and cold, in terms of her statements and some of the things she may take some stances on and proclamations she might make. So I don't know, you could take it or leave some of that stuff, but in terms of the art though, there's not a lot of people that are like in terms of superstardom of I mean, she's not there yet, like just by the stats, but I, as big as Lady Gaga is, Doja Cat is that kind of star. As big as and talented as like a John Legend who's got an EGOT. And I'm surprised Doja isn't on that sort of trajectory. I don't think she's been in any right movies, right? No Broadway play, but like she's got that kind of charisma. She's that talented, and she um is into her character, the Doja Cat character. Her like so her first project, right? Amala, um, you know, debut album, and it's her, and that one may signify a lot more of like here's who I am as Amala, right? But Doja Cat as this character, it's like when Prince becomes Prince. Prince wasn't Prince at first, right? But then he becomes Prince, and we know him as this entity that is when the method acting, and I don't want to say it's method acting that, but these artists, right? Sometimes they take on a persona that is not exactly who they are behind closed doors, but then when you when you fully come into your own, fully come into your identity, you start merging that character that you built for the stage with who you are behind closed doors, and then become that's who you are. And people start booking you just because who you are, right? Doja is Madonna. Doja is Lady Gaga. Like they ain't got nothing on Doja Cat. And it's just a matter of time before the rest of us realize it, but she's there. She knows it. She fully embodies it. And on this project, she's taking on this this turning point of sorts, right? Kind of a reinvention. I wouldn't call it a reinvention. It's more like a reignition. Going back a little bit to the pop roots, but it's still got a lot of hip hop. It's very hard to define what is happening on recentering. Maybe she's recentering herself. And I don't know if the rest of her project is going to have this sort of ethos, but it's very much different from the last project, which was also dope. Scarlet Two Claude was a great album. I reviewed it here, which means it was worth your listen, and I thought it was excellent. It deserved at least a nomination to something. But let's talk about like nuts and bolts of this thing, right? Behind the sound, um, some of the moments that really stand out that keep replaying are the masterclass ability that she has to this she committed to the 70s and 80s influence on this project, and it is great. She sticks to the whole thing. She sticks to it the entire way. The even the visuals, go check, there is dope. She has these um videos out. There's even when she does she has her SNL appearance. um even in her interview she is like locked in. It's a method, it's like method acting. She is in this character, and she is not getting out of that character. The 1980s Doja Cat character, whatever that person is, that she is sticking to that thing, and she's weaving modern touches to it so it doesn't sound stale at all. But V is produced by a wide variety of producers, and it's dope that they were, even though you got Jack Antonoff on this, so you know he's a heat maker. You got Y2K on this joint, Soundwave, Scribs Riley, and a bunch of other producers, a lot of producers. But they're still able to keep the cohesive with their own touches, still able to keep the cohesive nostalgia sound, 80, 70s, 80s sound, and the mood of the album, keeping it across the entire thing. The other thing is that she recorded in multiple places, in London, in New York, in France even, and she still was able to keep this thing cohesive. And I think it might be one. I think it's her best project. I think it's her best project to date. It's different, and it's like it's kind of hard to kind of compare. For example, Planet Her with V. Not that it's that they're different. They are different, but in terms of having the identity, sticking to that identity, having a concept for a project, and by the way, she wrote all the lyrics to this thing. She's the solo writer for V. And there's a lot of rap and hip hop going on here. So I wouldn't classify this as a hip hop album, but it is a rap album. It's a pop rap album. And she wrote the whole thing in an era where we're like going back and forth on like, who's credible in terms of their writing, if they're actually a real rapper or if they're just like a performing as a rapper, or are they MCs or not? Or are they just these are they actual lyricists? And we kind of like, put a little asterisk next to their bona fides if they have ghostwriters, right? This is what has always been talked about with Drake. And of course, Kanye. But like, who wouldn't say Kanye is hip hop? But you can't call Kanye MC though, right? He doesn't write his stuff. Doja leans more uh, into the singing than she did in Scarlet on this joint. This is why I'm like, this is not a hip hop album, but she does a lot of rapping on this thing. And but I mean she's multi-tool like that though. Her singing is amazing. Her rapping is amazing. She's actually rapping about stuff, like real stuff. It's dope to see that that can still happen with still having very much commercial appeal. A lot of artists find that they really gotta sell out when they try to make like a pop hit or something that can be consumable by the masses, and where they actually don't even say stuff. They just end up repeating the chorus a bunch of times and give you some like really like elementary level lyricism. But Doja doesn't skimp on any of that on this joint. There's plenty of rapping. The production, even the way the production goes, gives her space that she can um highlight her singing. There's layering of the voices. You can highlight her raps, her bars. You can hear, and you can like play it back and be like, oh, boom. You don't even need the lyrics really. You can like pick it up and figure she's double entendres, triple entendres, left or right on this thing. The metaphors are crazy. On these rap tracks, there's a couple ones that really stick out that are dope. Uh, All Mine. All Mine. Yep, that one is the type that has the layering of her voices and the rap that's happening all in there. She's got the drum and the synth just like embedded in all that stuff. And the production is mellow, but like the freaking bars are dope, and she is dope on that thing. Jealous Type, dope track. It's slick, it's danceable. That joint is a banger. Immediately it sets the tone. This is the second track on here. Oh, look at this. It already has 20 million listens. It is that good. It is that good. The music video is so freaking extra. It is again the 80s ethos. She's got a limo, and she's dancing in the limo, old school kind of limo, like her outfits and her clothes. She's got the dance move of like, remember those workout videos where they do a lot of hip thrusting? It looks like one of these, like the way it's shot and everything is all 80s. They even had the part where there's a part where she's singing the sprinklers go off. Remember that? Singing in the rain and all that kind of stuff. This is like the sprinklers kind of thing. That's amazing that she like glommed onto that and brought that back back into the zeitgeist. Couples therapy, dope track, and acts of service. These show off her R&B side, reminding us that she's good at making those sultry, body moving grooves. Acts of service is a good one to kind of dive into. Um, she's got this. She's saying something like real stuff that we really need to think about because like it's interesting that like we you know we all still going through the same thing, even at her level, even at her level of fame, her level of riches, her level of notoriety, and her access to partners and mates potentially. She says here, said, "Don't gotta ask to kiss me no more. It's like parts of our soul ain't missing no more. Yeah, love isn't to be measured. Boy, I don't want to put much pressure on you. But when you kick your legs up, this is home. Walks in the park and proudly cuddle. Pull stunts on the dick, no body double. Cute when they call us power couple. Look in your eyes, it's hardly subtle. You want to do something for me. I just want to feel you hold me. Come on. Let me you want to do something for me. I just want to feel you hold hold me. Come on. Okay, I have to pause here for a second because it's like the name of the track is Acts of Service. So this kind of stuff is kind of thing that's like sticks with me and like kind of throws me off a little bit because it's like okay, it's called Acts of Service, but right there you're talking about um and I just want to feel you hold me. Okay, I get it. That's great, right? Who doesn't want to be held, right? In a romantic relationship, but like the song is acts of service. I thought we were going to talk about acts of service, and so like a lot of it doesn't really talk about the acts of service, but that's more of the what's the other thing? Love languages, physical touch. So that's physical touch. The song could be called physical touch. Actually, that would probably be a pretty sexy song for Doja Cat to be singing, like because she's the type that would like say something nuanced about it, right? That she's talking about physical touch in the concept of maturity in knowing your love language. So I could see her making a dope song like that, but it would still be like a sexy kind of song, right? Um, Fine, I'll forgive that. But I was talking to my therapist the other day, right? And we were trying to come up with what the actually I should have looked this up. We were trying to come up with what the love languages would be for friendships, right? Because you have friends that you love and you want to you want to be able to show them and be friends with them the best way that they receive friendship and love in a friendship. And what we ended up coming to a conclusion with is that you know what? Turns out it's the same stuff. It looks different, but it's the same stuff. So receiving gifts, friend to friend, yeah, why not? Um, Words of affirmation, telling your friends that you're proud of them, telling your friends that, man, I'm so lucky to have a friend like you. Do that. You can still have love languages, the same love language, the same love languages, you know, as a concept with your friends. Quality time. Remember those friends that you used to hang out with all the time? Now suddenly you don't see them anymore, out of sight, out of mind, kind of thing. Feels like your friendship is like growing a little bit distant. That's quality time. That's a love language. Just yeah, that's a romantic partner. Usually we use these concepts for, but like it can work with friends too. Acts of service speaks for itself. Do for your friends. them doing for you. That solidifies the bond. The one that I was originally having trouble with, um, and I guess that's just my patriarchal male brain thinking, and was just like not making sense to me. It was like the physical touch one. I was like, what? Well, well, this is why we need a whole new paradigm because it doesn't work for friendship. Physical touch, but like, wait a minute. I hug my friends, and maybe that might not be my love language, but like I remember I had this one friend. We're not friends anymore, but and this speaks to specifically this kind of like why you need to make sure you kind of hone in on somebody's love language is that this dude used to, when he laughed, when we told jokes and we, back and forth, he used to always touch you when he laughed. Like he wanted to put his arms around you when he like laughed, specifically when he laughed. Like he would, even when you're greeting at first, he'll dap you up and that'll be it. But then like when it's like a bunch of laughter going on in the environment, it's like he want to like smack you and hit you in the back kind of thing, or just like put his arm, kind of like, and that used to just like irk me. It used to irk me. Like that was his love language. But the problem is with love languages, not the problem, but this is something we all need to keep in mind when it comes to love language, is that the way that he's comfortable with presenting love, which was like the physical touch, in laughter and showing the camaraderie there, the person on the receiving end, that might not be their thing. That's where we get trapped. Well, you're like, man, I like receiving gifts. And then so you give out gifts. And then like the friend may be like, gifts don't really, I mean, I got, gifts ain't, oh, thanks, you got me a gift. But it's like, that's not what really shows them that you're tight with them like that, that you're ride or die like that. They would rather you, they would rather you spend quality time. They're like, yeah, you got me a gift. That's great. But man, but I haven't seen you in months. Like, let's go get a drink. Let's have a beer. So shout out to like figuring out your love language, what you want and how you want to be friended, how you want to receive friendship. And with that said, it's time for us to start being cognizant of how we are providing friendship, how we are showing up for the people. Are we showing up the way that they want us to show up for them? Right? Um, I saw something the other day that the post that was like saying, so this is another pivot. A person saying like, man, bump choosing your whole love language thing. How about all of them? How about all of them? So okay, so shout out to that person because like I can feel it. I feel that. I feel that. I don't know so much about the physical touch personally. Maybe I have some growing to do. I do. I always got some growing to do. I'll say that. But when it comes to friendship, the physical touch part, um, I mean, I do like to greet my friends with a hug, and then when we leave, greet my friends. Yeah, I get that. So yeah, yeah, I do like hugging my friends on the greeting and departure. I know women are way more physically affectionate towards each other without it being like weird. Um, but men, hey, what can you do? We're a work in progress, right? But in a romantic relationship, she's talking about here acts of service, but she is mainly, you know, there's some other concepts here, but I think she's basically just bringing up the fact of like love language and the importance of like love languages and figuring out what it is that matters most to you in terms of receiving. It's great if you figure out for yourself so that you can communicate that with your partner. And she wraps up this verse, this chorus with, "Would it mean that I found my person when the language is acts of service? Baby, how do I know for certain? Does the key to your flat mean girlfriend?" Questionable, right? Got to keep it flat. She needs some confirmation. So dope song. Check that one out. At the another one. She at the VMAs this year. She jealous type. She previewed that joint. Brought out Kenny G and everything at the VMAs with that track. So that was dope to throw. I mean, this is Kenny G. If you want 80s throwback, if you want the 90s throwback sound, Kenny G is who you get because there is a lot of saxophone, a lot of horns and things like that happening on this project because that's the sounds that we were really promulgating back then. And Kenny G was actually on stage with her at the VMAs. The visually and sonically, it was glam. Just like watching that performance. I will say though that her sound was off because of the just the acoustics. I guess her mic, something they did with her mic. It wasn't it wasn't it wasn't the best, but I think also that they she has a dancing background. She started off as a break dancer. And so they really the choreography is what I think they was really trying to highlight on that thing. She even had like sneakers on so that she could get busy, right? So she could get busy with the choreography, which was dope. But you know, the sound was off, but it sounds great. This track sounds great. I wonder if Kenny G is he on the oh man, I don't think he's on the let me look at the credits here. Is he actually on the project? Oh no, he's not. He's not listed here. He's not listed here on the actual song credits. This is one of the Jack Antonoff tracks, and yeah, yeah, nope, he's not on there. Produced by Jack Antonoff and Y2K on this joint. So that whatever, he's not on there. But either way, the that was dope to bring him out. He's still sounding great. I mean, doing his thing, still with the long hair. My favorite song on this whole project is probably though "Gorgeous." Go listen to this track right now. So let me see. I don't. Okay, yeah, "Jealous Type" is the one with 20 million plays already, and the second is "Gorgeous." That's got about 7 million plays right now. As what is this? October 5th. "Gorgeous" is man, and she performed "Gorgeous" on SNL. Um, she's just sitting in this rose. She is the whole time, and it's just beautiful and it's just gorgeous as the song implies. He also performed Men, right? On SNL. And "Gorgeous" though, my favorite track on this project. I love that song, and then I found out there was a visual for it. Go watch this video. You gotta watch the video. It's even better. It is one of the most beautiful, just like gorgeous videos, music videos that I've seen. Oh man, in a long time. Just like everything about it. Like there's music videos that are the main artist is a good looking person, they're gorgeous, right? And the cinematography is fine and whatnot, but like top to bottom it's just beautiful women. Just like if you like, I mean everybody should like women, right? Women, got it's just beautiful. It's just all beautiful women of like all sorts. Just like the whole thing from top, it is shot wonderfully. It's got a lot of like Maybelline vibe, but there's like the makeup line is it's called Gorgeous. So it's like imagine watching a Maybelline commercial, but it's like gorgeous is the line is the makeup line, and the makeup is amazing. The lipstick is popping for everybody. The eyeshadows, the lighting, there's no dancing. It's all like there's some catwalks happening and headshots. It's gorgeous. That it's perfect. It's a gorgeous video. The song is amazing. It sounds wonderful. The production is hands down some of the best on this project. Who is so this one, yeah, this one had a team. Written by Jack Antonoff, George Daniel, Amala, Doja Cat, she wrote on here, Mark Spears, Curtis Lee, I could tell. Yeah, produced by Jack Antonoff, George Daniel, Soundwave, and a couple other people. Like, so yeah, this song, I could see the effort that went into this thing. That joint was a production, and everybody looks great. Doja looks great on there. But the next track that she performed on SNL was Men, which is a dope one. This one, while most of the tracks on here are pop, this one she is rapping. And this is another, but I'll say this much: this is another salvo in the gender wars, though, because she's kind of going in on dudes on this one. She says here, you know, all them bad boys don't treat us nicely, so I give them these teeth like Keira Knightley. Do I look like I want to be pregnant, trying to bust all in me like Leroy Jenkins? Leroy Jenkins, right? This got me aching. This got me thinking, nigga, am I gay or am I just angry? Am I impatient? I can't stop dating them. And I'm insatiable. I love the taste of them. And I have too much tolerance. You ugly and fine as shit. And if I had more common sense, then I would grab my ride and dip. It's funny because I sometimes think about this myself. I'm like, all right, here's so we're in the gender wars. So let me be a little traitor, I guess, to my kind a little bit and peel back the curtain a little bit. I find that when I am witnessing, I'm not part of gender wars really. I don't want nothing to do with it, but I listen in sometimes, and when you dig down to what these dudes talking about and some of the things they say, and I have friends, I have people in my circle that kind of talk like this too. I'm like, maybe you just don't like women. Like, maybe you just don't like women. If you know a guy that says I don't have any female friends, they 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 want to fuck women. Don't get me wrong, they're not gay. They want to look at women. They want to have women around to the extent that they need them or desire them. I had a friend tell me, I told him I had a woman therapist, and he's like, first of all, I don't do therapy. Okay. I've never done it. But like also, if I was to do therapy, I wouldn't have a woman therapist. A woman can't, what can a woman teach me? I don't think I say all that to say this statement here. I don't think a lot of men like I don't think they like y'all. I'm talking to women right now. A lot of men do not like women. They don't like y'all. They want to fuck you. They want you around to like cook or whatever else and whatever like plug and play that they need, the puzzle piece that they need to like what their existence is that they put you in. And so like boom, you plug in here and do those things that I need from you. Mother my son and my hopefully son, hopefully not a daughter. But if it's a daughter, fine. Mother her. You know, and they'll allow you. They'll because niggas is broke. So niggas will be like, fine, you can have a job. It's a lot of these niggas broke anyway, so they need you to have a job too, right? So they need you to have a job and also be the mothering kind and also um be submissive and all that stuff, right? Be soft, all that kind of stuff, right? But they don't want to hear from you. They don't want to hear your mouth. They don't want to hear your opinion. They don't want to hear your wisdom. I think a lot of these I think a lot of these men don't like women. And so long way to say, man, if I was a woman, I would I wouldn't blame you. If I was a woman, man, I wouldn't be fucking with these dudes, man. I would not. I would not. I mean, I know homosexuality is not a choice. People are born that way, but man, I was like, I can't see how like y'all got it bad. For women to be like, um, and not only like y'all got all the education now. Dudes ain't even trying to learn nothing, even though the world is moving further and further away from manual labor. And dudes are just stubborn. They just want to be back in the caveman joint, man. They just want to club a woman in the back of the head and just like drag them to the cave and just like do the domestic joint. It is tough. As tough it is for me out here in this dating world. I like for what women have to choose from. And like this is and I'm on this side looking at around at my dudes and I try to talk to them and stuff and I try to like drop some like clues here and there, knowledge here and there, but you can't tell niggas nothing, man. You can't tell dudes nothing, man. That whole alpha energy on that kind of stuff, man, it's so toxic. It's just so toxic. But you know, she's doing something a little toxic here too, where she's like, what she says, this got me, this got me aching. This got me thinking, nigga, am I gay or am I angry? Am I impatient? I can't stop dating them, and I'm insatiable. I love the taste of them. That line right there, is she sticking with her pussy? That's what's happening. She's sticking with, and so a lot of these dudes be thinking what they think, and they be making decisions based off that. And so that's that toxic stuff. Like, yeah, dude, like these decisions that you're making, some of the moves that you're making, you're just thinking off like the ego, the the dick measuring, the pissing contest kind of stuff. And some women can do that too. Well, they're just she's insatiable. She can't stop dating them because she's thinking with her pussy. I mean, sorry, that's just the way that it kind of reads to me. Um, but no matter what she's saying, no matter what she tries to do, she loves the taste of them. She likes dudes, and I feel sorry for somebody who doesn't have the option um to do otherwise. Sorry, you're stuck with us, and hopefully society or self-reflection or the permutation of therapy happens more and more to get these dudes in a better place of growth and like learning about like things like acts of service or the other love languages or like communicating what they're feeling even if they can't specifically name an emotion, but like describe, at least get to the point to describe like I'm feeling something and here's identifying why I'm feeling that way and be able to communicate that and not like raise a hand at somebody or just yell because that's what we were freaking like conditioned with for a long ass time. So that's an important song. Definitely check that one out. One of my favorites on this thing. She is actually going to be on tour next year so to support this project. Going to Asia, Europe, Latin America, North America, of course. And I might have to go check. I might have to go check her out because this, yeah, I think this is my favorite. I think this is my favorite project from her. She's I might have to check out that show. I bought the vinyl. I bought the vinyl. This project is that good. There's just so much. In fact, if I go down like songs that I just love, freaking jealous type. Ah man, couples therapy, gorgeous, of course. Freaking all mine. Take me dancing, scissors on that joint, fire. Freaking acts of service, love it. Make it up one more time, and comeback is the closing track on this thing. Like there's yeah, one more time. Yeah, it's just out of 15 tracks, I hit that like I like the whole thing, but in terms of favoriting a track, out of 15, I got 10, 10 out of 15. Bro, that's some heat. That's some heat right here. The main takeaway, I would say that this project is this retro futuristic pop fantasy vibe. It's high gloss, it's romantic, um, and it's fun. It can get a little deep if you listen to lyrics. Hopefully you do. Give it multiple listens so you can like pick up on some of that stuff. But Doja's saying some stuff on this project, and it's inspired through her own therapy session. She said to herself, she's like going through therapy, help her write this project. That's kind of stuff I want to like. I wish freaking what is the Young Thug went to therapy. Who like if he went to therapy, we would have got a way better project. Again, I don't sit here and bash albums. If I don't like it, I just won't talk about it. Man, that Young Thug project, this was his chance. This was his chance to like, yo, you just went through some shit, my guy. And he has like two tracks maybe that really kind of like look very the sound pretty introspective. But you're like, dang, bro, if you went to therapy, you could have like unpacked some really deep stuff. You just like by the skin of your teeth beat a Rico while you was in prison. They already got you already hemmed up, and you beat it, and you got out, and that's the project you dropped. Like, Dang, bro. Like you had, yeah, but you know what? It's not over for him. Maybe he could drop another project, um, you know, early next year. Get in the lab right now. Do some work on yourself. Get some therapy. But the dude don't believe in therapy. He's like, he actually went on a whole podcast thing talking about how much he thinks therapy is a sham. Not only does he think it's a sham for him, again, these dudes don't go to therapy, man. Like so this is like, so it's hard for y'all. It's hard for women out there to get a mature, self-aware, self-examined man. Like I'm gonna put a pin in something. I'm gonna say something in a second. I'm gonna put a pin in, but like the part that was the most disgusting thing about the Young Thug interviews is that he talked about even if his woman got therapy, so he's dating Mariah the Scientist. Even if she went and got therapy, he would feel less of a man. Like, what is wrong with you? He would feel less of a man if she went and got therapy because, like, oh, bro, she should be talking to me. She shouldn't need to be talking to somebody else. You know what I mean? She should be listening to me. You know what I mean? And like, we should be able to
That's
talk it
not
out.
how it works. That's not how
Like,
any of
my
this
guy,
works.
that's not how it works. Sometimes you don't have the words to communicate. You need somebody to help you, like, filter and get those words figured out. The thing I wanted to put a pin in is this: is that a lot of even at the basic level for therapy, people may think it's like, oh, people are gonna just tell me to hate my mom and hate my dad at the end. That's all the therapist is gonna end up saying at the end of the day. At the basic level, it helps you organize your thoughts. You may be going through a situation and you there's these thoughts come in and out of your head. They like almost like like quantum mechanics, right? Just freaking popping in and out of existence in your head, and like you want to spiral this way and spiral that way, and it's just like it's a lot of confusion and a lot of chaos going on in your head because you're going through a lot of emotions. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, even in the same situation. There's the whole grieving, denial, and all kinds of stuff, and like a therapist can at least help you organize at very minimum. Just organize. What's wrong getting help on organizing your thoughts so that you can then go have a conversation with somebody? So even for Mariah the Scientist and Young Thug, it could be like, okay, no, I'm not going to a therapy to, unpack my troubles and work all that stuff out. What you could do, but fine, fine. Even for you, the minimum bar should be Mariah the Scientist is going to, or you, Young Thug, are going to a therapist to just, hey, I have all these thoughts, help me organize them and put them in a way that I could communicate them with my partner. I'll communicate with my partner. You don't need to do that. Fine. First of all, I'm a big proponent for couples therapy, but this is a low bar we're talking about here. He could at least get his thoughts organized so he can go talk to his partner about what he's feeling, what he's going through, what he thinks about their situation. And Mariah can do the same thing. And so that way they can have a more productive conversation instead of like yapping back and forth with each other or talking over each other or just like two ships passing in the night and missing each other completely. Like we're talking, but like we're not really resolving anything. We're not really like growing or anything like that. You want to grow. You want to be in that relationship. You're with her, right? You want to be with her tomorrow and 10 years from now, right? Presumably. So why don't you do the things that help build a solid foundation for that and being able to communicate with each other? That's growth. Otherwise, you're doomed for failure. You're doomed for personal failure or probably even relationship failure. That's just my 2 cents. I'm not a therapist, you know what I mean? I'm just an advocate out here, just like hopefully getting as much people involved in it because I've been involved in therapy since 2010 personally. Off and on, I'm a big proponent. Mental health is important. Like even the stuff that you do on your own, it adds to it. Mindfulness, it adds to it. And then there's talk therapy. Then there's cognitive behavioral therapy. Uh, all of that is just like going to the gym and building that strength, that internal strength, um, that that toolkit. That's especially my favorite kind of therapy is when ones that give me tools where I can like when the therapist is away and I'm on my own, I can apply tools that I learned, things that I picked up from that. Um, this project is a probably best for a live listening session. I mean, I think the concert is going to be great. I think the concert is going to be first of all, she is the choreography is going to be on point. That's what she does, right? It's gonna be on point. The costume design is gonna be on point. I know it's gonna be dope. Uh, a lot of rap shows. are mad boring. I'm not gonna lie to you, mad boring. You love the songs, you love the tracks, but I went to that Kendrick show, Kendrick and SZA show, and my favorite part was SZA. Kendrick pretty much just walks left and walks right, walks up and down a thing, and I love the song, so I was just singing along. But in terms of like you being amazed at a performance, that SZA part was the dope part. She was flying at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, and rap artists don't really do that, but the female rap artists do some stuff, and especially Doja. She's a dancer first before she was an artist. Before she was a rapper or singer, she was a dancer, and she's gonna be dope on the live show like that. Other than that, I think before that, put it on when you're like getting ready to go out that night, right, with your friends. You like that pre gaming kind of thing, because there's a lot of confidence here, a lot of that retro vibe you feel. It's all danceable, even if it's like a lot of it has a lot. There's a lot of there's a lot of meaning behind it. It's not like it's just all fluff. There's a lot of meaning, but that has its moments. But they all sound so good and palatable that you don't necessarily need to be like locked in like that. But definitely give it one of those locked in listens. Definitely do that. Give it one of those locked in listens. But other than that, throw that bit on, and I just can't wait for the live show. V feels like it's made to be performed in those kinds of moments. And like I said, I bought the vinyl because V is one of them joints. I might just keep it in the plastic because it's a classic. And I'll just play the digital joint. If if you ask me, like I said, this is her best project. It's cohesive. It almost feels like a what do you call those things? A concept project almost. Um, but if you weren't, how am I gonna say this? If you weren't a Doja Cat fan, first of all, fuck you. No, I'm just I'm just kidding. Um, if you weren't a Doja Cat fan, again, putting some of her hot takes aside, she's gonna be making a lot of fans with this joint. You should just get on the bandwagon now because this joint is fire and it is going to hook a whole new litter of kittens. I, I know she doesn't like that her fans are called kittens, um, but it's gonna bring a whole new litter, and she's gonna have to embrace it because this joint is undeniable.
Martha! Martha!